Paul and Silas went to the city of Thessalonica. Paul went into the synagogue to meet with the Jews. For 3 weeks, on each Sabbath day, Paul talked with them about the scriptures. Paul said, "This Jesus I am telling you about is the Messiah." Some of the Jews believed Paul and Silas, and they decided to join them. But the Jews who did not believe were jealous. They started a riot in the city. "They say there is another king, Jesus," the mob of people shouted. The city leaders were upset. That night, Paul and Silas went to Berea. The people there listened to Paul's message, and they studied the scriptures to make sure he was telling the truth. Many people in Berea believed the good news. But the Jews in Thessalonica followed Paul to Berea and caused trouble. So Paul left and went to the city of Athens. Paul was upset by what he saw in Athens. The people did not worship the one true God. Instead, they worshiped many idols. Paul talked with the people who lived in Athens and told them the good news about Jesus. The men asked Paul to explain. So Paul went to a meeting with them and said, "Men of Athens, I can see that you are very religious. I saw in your city an altar that said, 'To an unknown God.' You worship a God that you do not know. This is the God I want to tell you about." So Paul told the people about the one true God. He explained that God made everything. He is not like the idols in Athens. He is not made of gold, silver, or stone. Paul said that God wants everyone in the world to turn away from their sin and to turn to Him. When the people heard about Jesus being raised from the dead, some of them laughed. Some of them wanted to hear more later. Some of them joined Paul and became believers. Later, Paul left Athens and went to the city of Corinth. There he met a Jewish man named Aquila and his wife Priscilla. They were tent makers, and so was Paul. Paul stayed with them and worked with them. Paul stayed in Corinth for 1.5 years, teaching God's message to the people. Then Paul left to go back to Antioch. The men of Athens worshipped a false god whom they did not know. Paul explained to the men God's plan of salvation. He said that only God should be worshipped. Paul talked about Jesus and the resurrection. People can know God because Jesus took the punishment for sin that separates people from God.